All right, so that's me, Todd Chamberlain. I'm the co-founder and CEO of MedBlox. We're a medical record indexing, collator, and packaging company. We turn those records over to patients, but we get them indexed and set up for them in the first place. So first, know why. We understood that in healthcare, part of what the currency is trust. So when we were starting the company, we sat back and we said, why would someone trust an organization to come in and do this? So we knew that everything we had to do needed to support that statement. So if you look, currently this is what the healthcare system looks like. There's a bunch of entities that have a hard time trusting each other. The patient doesn't necessarily trust the bill that they got. The hospital doesn't trust the registration info that they get. And the hospital and third parties often have to go through a extenuating period where they're negotiating out the BAA so that they can trust each other and work within the same space. So this is what optimal would look like. The patient would sit in the middle here. Patient in the middle. They're the one that handles all the permissioning, the determining of what can be shared, and the other entities have to work with the patient so that they can get access to the information they're looking for. So the reason that there's a problem with trust in healthcare is that ultimately there's a lot of tribal traits. So the hospitals use their own lingo, their own language. The patient doesn't understand the language. And often third parties don't know how to make the translation between what the hospitals call something, what the patients call it, and what they call it. And that's ultimately what holds them out from getting into the market space or making a decision to hop in because they don't know if the other entities are trustworthy. So what would the qualities of a company that could broker a trust in healthcare look like? They'd have to speak the languages. They'd have to understand the plights of each shareholder or stakeholder. They'd have to be trustworthy, honest, persistent, knowledgeable, learn, and they'd have to be able to scale while thinking in an international context. And ultimately, the term we use, predictable. So if you're asking for unprecedented access to people's information, everything you do needs to support the why they should trust you. That's a Robin Hood icon there. Robin Hood was, even though Robin Hood was asking for a lot when he was asking people to join his band, so were the individuals that were taxing them. So what you have to do is, we have to understand is Robin Hood was asking for the same thing that the individuals that were taxing them were, only he got people to buy in because they believed in what he believed. So this is the symbol that we use to describe MedBlox. We're motivated. We believe in health. We want to enable everyone. We're knowledgeable, and we like to succeed. And so often what happens is these motivations get turned upside down in organizations, even in healthcare institutions, where you see, like, if you're only focused on success and you make a trip at any one of the points down below, what you have is a narrow margin of error and a wide interpretation of success. By putting the why at the center of everything you do, you have a wide base of motivation. We're always focused on health. You enable everyone, the institutions, the people, the patients, your employees. We love to gather knowledge, and ultimately success is what is a byproduct of doing the other elements well. So when we were finding why, when we were looking at why we ultimately needed to, what we needed to embody, we did a bunch of research where we basically, we looked at individuals in this space that were doing a great job of getting buy-in. And we noticed that it really all led to leaders with a great personality who find a way to make their organizations embody their personality. What that actually means is that those individuals can embody that person's personality because it's a fingerprint. And if it's a fingerprint, that means that there's a pattern. And that means that you can actually identify that. So there are 1.1 billion people in the world that don't have any form of ID, but they do have an identity of who they believe they are. And that's why we actually use symbols instead of words to describe us. Symbols can actually describe complex concepts and beliefs efficiently and allow for a bunch of information to be shared at once and allow for information to be processed and validated at edges. So this is a team. We've collected a team that have a good central core belief that we also have. All of our advisors are actually, we don't pay any of them. They came to us because they believe that what we've got is something great and that they want to be a part of it. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us at medblox.io, and you could reach out to us at info@medblox.io as well. Thank you.